Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into another video. I'm your host, Nico from Nicolas Bowling Show, realnsc.com. I want to talk about something today. I want to pose the question, and I'd love to hear from you. Is Sidney Powell a fraud? Let's talk about it. All right, so Sidney Powell's obviously banned on Twitter, so this is her official Telegram account, and she wrote this. What's kind of sparked this whole idea of mine is she really a fraud or is she for real? All indications are that despite the overwhelming evidence of massive fraud and more evidence available inside the government and other legal options available, the president is taking no action to protect the republic. People around him are limiting his information and lying to him about his legal options. The Biden administration will be consolidating power day one, and the fascist corporations are already limiting speech and firing freedom lovers. Just look at the military in D.C. now. Trump did not call them in, and all of that for a virtual inauguration that no one will attend. It's all about power and global communist money. You can see and smell the corruption in D.C. It's gone from a swamp to a pure cesspool. There were and have been a lot more people illegally elected than just Biden and Harris. So let's break this down. So there's a couple things in there that I agree with, right? I do think that other people were elected illegally, not just Biden and Harris. I think this is probably something that's went on a very long time. That's not really a secret. There's been plenty of people that have been put into power delegitimately. And also, the corruption in D.C., you could smell it. That's 100% accurate. It's gone from a swamp to a pure cesspool. I agree with. And I brought this up as well, the virtual inauguration. They're doing it virtually, more virtually. I don't think all of it's going to be virtual, but most of it is because obviously Biden can't pull a crowd. He gets, maybe 12 people if he's lucky for his events. So that's why they're doing that. But the part that really I don't quite understand is the president is taking no action to protect the republic. So Trump has fought like hell to try to overturn this election. Now, let me rephrase that. Not overturn, because they've kind of stolen that word and basically said that that's, trying to overturn, take away the people's voice. No, he's trying to get what's rightfully his because he won this election. And let me also just start by saying this. I think Trump won, and I'm extremely confident in that. We've covered it at length. realnsc.com. We've covered it completely at length. We've also covered Sidney Powell at length. I've done a number of articles cheering her on and basically, covering all the things that she said and everything like that over, release the Kraken and all of her lawsuits. And she's done some great lawsuits. So I just want to say that up front here before we kind of get into it here. And I'm not trying to bash her character. I'm seriously asking this question because I don't quite understand. So she went all over the place to all these media outlets, all the Sunday shows and all that sort of stuff, and all over social media, saying that she has evidence. Those were her exact words. I have the evidence that votes were switched in these key states due to Dominion. So she really shined a spotlight on Dominion and Smartmatic and really exposed them. I think it's a game changer that way. But let me ask you this. What piece of evidence, physical evidence, has Sidney Powell presented in regards to election fraud and voter fraud? Right? So what has she really presented? Seriously. I mean, I would love to hear. Maybe I missed it. Like I said, I've been covering her for a while now, for the past several months, since November 3rd. And I know she's done fantastic work with Flynn. I think she's a great legal mind. But is she a fraud? I mean, I couldn't tell you one thing that she's presented as far as actual evidence. Again, maybe I missed it. Maybe you can comment below and say, hey, she presented this. But I don't know. And then I also don't want to hear about, well, they couldn't get to the Dominion machines to audit it. So that's why she doesn't have it. She didn't say if we can get into the machine. She literally said, "I have the evidence. I see the evidence. It's coming through a what did she say? A fire hose. That's how much is coming in." So where's the evidence, Sydney? I mean, seriously, where is the evidence? I mean, it's 3 days out from the inauguration, less than 3 days out, less than 72 hours. Where's the actual physical evidence that you're talking about? Because you haven't presented any. So that's what I'm kind of saying here. And to kind of, it's to me, it feels like she's kind of shifting the narrative. Like, oh well, Trump's not doing anything, even though he's through Jenna Ellis and Rudy Giuliani and all of those guys, they've presented the evidence. They've went on 11-hour testimonies in front of the legislators with witnesses after witnesses after witnesses, and produce all this sort of evidence in that way. But I don't quite understand. And maybe she presented those witnesses to Rudy and the team, and she's behind the scenes. That whole thing of her not being officially on the Trump team and all that. Maybe she presented. I don't know. Maybe that is the case, but still, that's not evidence in the sense that what she was selling us is that she had physical evidence that would overturn the election, give Trump what's rightfully his, and we haven't seen that. I'm just kind of confused on because conservatives and Trump supporters have really praised Sidney Powell. I mean, exponentially. It's quite impressive because her stock has risen dramatically due to all this. I have no proof of this, but she's probably sold a shitload more books. I know her followers have gone up tremendously. And also she is pushing for donations, and here in her description is defundtherepublic.org, which is her donation site. So I'm not calling her a fraud. I'm just asking the question, is she for real? If she is, where is this evidence that she's been shouting at the rooftops for the past, 3 months, over 3 months since November 3rd, and I haven't seen it. Again, she's done some fantastic legal work as far as requesting Freedom of Information Act stuff. She's done great with that. She's really shined the spotlight on Smartmatic and Dominion, and now she's being sued by them for like $1 billion, which that's not going to go anywhere, obviously. And I think she knows that, and also Lynn Wood for that matter too. I mean, I know he was never a part of the legal team, and I don't really know exactly. I know he did the Covington kids, but I don't know how he exactly got involved in this. He's also like a folk hero in MAGA. And I liked him too up until a point. I did an article like a month ago. I said, he went from a Bible verse preaching guy to the finding the truth to now he's saying all these people need to be arrested and tried for treason, and they're pedophiles. And it's like, look, man, I'm not saying that they're not. I don't know if Justice Roberts is a pedophile, and I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying, what does that have to do with election and trying to fight for the cause of fixing the election? That's my question. If you want to talk about that stuff and all of that, first off, come with the receipts. Don't just say, "Hey, this guy's a pedophile." I have the evidence. Where is it? I mean, seriously. In my opinion, I can no longer support Sidney Powell just for this reason. And she's kind of flipping it and saying, well, Trump isn't doing enough when he has. Not only that, I think that she wants him to do martial law, their Insurrection Act. To be honest, if Trump did the martial law, right? And I tweeted about this a while back. By the way, I'm no longer on Twitter. Links down below for my other social media. And also, real quick, any conservative or Trump supporter that's on Twitter, you are literally paying Jack Dorsey. You're giving him your money, and you're obviously okay with censorship if you're still on Twitter. So that's beside the point. I may do a video on that later, but I don't understand why any Trump supporter or conservatives on Twitter. But hey, more power to you. If you're okay with censorship, hey, salute you. But just I know she's profited off of this. I know she has, and her stock has risen. But now it's like she's for months saying, "I have proof. I have proof. I have proof. I have so much proof. It's coming through a fire hose. It's just coming in nonstop. Why haven't we seen it? 3 days out from the inauguration, why haven't we seen it? We haven't seen an ounce of evidence from you. Now, that's not to say we haven't seen evidence of voter fraud and election fraud. We have mountains of that, but not from Sidney Powell or Lynn Wood for that matter. So, and then she basically wants him to do martial law. And to an extent, I would be okay with that because I know this election was stolen. And, we have to get on the same playing field as these Democrats. If they're willing to lie, cheat, and steal, we have to play not dirty, not saying to steal elections, but we need to start standing up and doing things in response to that and also go on the offense. I wouldn't be mad if he did martial law, but also at the same time, I think that would be a big problem. It would further divide us. Trump right now, I believe, is just saying, you know what, I've done everything I could. I didn't have to run for office. They got me elected, but now it's out of my hands, basically. I think that's how Trump feels right now. To say he's not protecting the republic, I think is really asinine. Also, there is this thing going around, and it's been like this since Trump got in office, even from his so-called supporters. Sidney Powell said this, Lynn Wood, even my guy Alex Jones has said this as well a lot. Roger Stone, all these guys saying, well, Trump's being lied to. He's not getting all the information. He's being blocked. Do you really think that Donald Trump is a type of guy that just listens to one person and doesn't look it up for himself? Not only that, but for example, there was an article from Bloomberg saying that Jared Kushner is preventing the president from getting on Gab. He's blocking him. Do you really think that Trump is sitting there signing up for a Gab and Kushner saying, nope, takes the phone away and says, no, he can't do that? Do you really think that's happening? Trump is the last guy that I would think would be told no and him to say, okay. Like, come on, dude. Trump is not uneducated. He's not stupid. He's not, just a guy that's going to say, okay, I'll listen to you. Not only that, but Rudy's in his right ear. Okay, Rudy's at his side. Rudy's a legal genius. Do you really think that Rudy's not telling him his illegal options? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? He's a billionaire businessman. He has some of the best legal minds around him. That's not to say that people in the White House are around him that may not be part of the swamp secretly behind closed doors, right? But this sort of idea that Trump is just being manipulated and lied to and he's just going with the lies, I think is really stupid. I've never bought that at all. So that's my thoughts. Here we are 3 days out from the inauguration. More to come. We're back up on Real NSC on an independent server. We were down for about a day because we got blocked due to all of the traffic. I did a video on this, but basically we were having so much visits to the site. I basically capped out. I went over, and then they told me I was using the site was using too much CPU usage for a long time, and then just basically had to cut me off until I got a independent server. Dedicated service. So that's a big increase of cost. So I ask you please to consider donating. Go to support.realnsc.com if you want to make any sort of donations. Become a Patreon. Even just $1 a month. You can do Cash App, PayPal. Links are there. Or go to shop.realnsc.com for really awesome conservative t-shirts, funny Sleepy Joe shirts. Go check that out. All the links are going to be down below. Follow me on all these other social media outlets. I'm no longer on Twitter, and I recommend you are not as well. Thank you guys so much. God bless. Stay safe.